Bro, that vodka had me sore.
My whole legs were sore.
That vodka had me sore.
I didn't realize how, the hills.
But them hills was like.
Really got me, bro.
I like the road signs coming up in here. Obviously, I didn't know where I was going, but I was like, oh, this is kind of tough. Like the different road signs up there.
Yeah, my sister did all. Yeah.
Yeah, really been putting in a lot of work. I had seen it, as she was staying here in the.
Really be out here. She be doing a lot.
Where's she at? St. Louis right now?
I didn't know the convention was a week.
We going?
She get back Sunday.
We got early morning. You got super early morning.
I thought you were going to stay till 9:30.
She said get there.
Yeah, I got to get there at 7:30 to get my media pass.
Were you going to rock this house?
Yeah, said pull up around 7:30, 8-ish.
Dang.
He performs on 9:15, 11. I'm definitely not staying long though.
That concert down there don't start till 7, so I'm just cruising.
Actually, I got to stay up all night anyway. I mean, I guess I could go to sleep. For a minute, then you got to.
It's going to be like a 4-hour nap.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right, you game? All right, we good. I don't have a clue what I'm saying. Welcome back to the Stuck in My Thoughts podcast. As always, I'm your host, Justin Stuckey, and we're here with a guest that's known by many names, Marlo, Fruit Punch. He's a 3-time Pro Bowler and arguably the best DB in the NFL. Baltimore Ravens cornerback, Marlon Humphrey. Marlon, appreciate you being on the show.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to do this and get it going.
Yeah, appreciate you taking the time. You about to get back out to training camp, so appreciate you taking the time. Look, man, we are on sacred ground, the Marquee Oasis, and you do a lot of things out here. It's a home. You just ran the 5K. Think about doing some weddings. You got family events, had a family reunion. Talk about, this amazing property and what kind of went into it and why you decided to, do it.
Yeah, so we're on sacred ground. So Marquee Oasis got it in 2020, and during COVID, random story with that, but ended up getting 229 acres, and it's been fun. I guess first I was hanging out or living in a camper, and then that turned into building a house, building a pool. We've done a lot of different, and then it turned into like an event space, and it's a home. So it's kind of a little bit of everything, but it's fun. It's a lot of work, but it's for sure fun.
Yeah, and it seems like you kind of make it definitely a family aspect. Obviously, the Humphrey family, for y'all that don't know, is very tight-knit. They're legends in itself, especially in Alabama, but all over the place. Talk about, the incorporating that family dynamic and why the family aspect, especially for the Humphrey, is so important to you.
So for me, it's just, honestly, I wouldn't have been able to do a lot of this without family. Like, literally family helping, like, literally build this place up.
Yeah.
So whether it's, my cousins, my uncles, my aunties, there's been most of the work you see that's been done, besides the actual structures, has been family landside, family doing this, family riding machines. My little sister, she'll be riding a tractor doing stuff. So it's been family's always been a big thing for me. It's been something that, I grew up in, from seeing everyone at my grandma's house, my aunties and uncles. And then that same thing with my parents. Just family's been just really big, 2 brothers, 2 sisters. So family's just always been a thing for me. So,
Yeah.
Here was kind of no different. And then we all just found a way to get it done. And it's a big family affair for sure.
For sure. I got a pleasure, obviously, meeting 2 more members of Humphrey, your brother and you, because I haven't met you until now. And just looking at how much you guys have done, away from sports and just having that family dynamic is very a model thing. Many people look up to and many people don't have. But you guys are all highly talented, and I think it's across the board. The first question I've got, and I would like to see his reaction to this, who's the most athletic Humphrey?
Honestly, probably the youngest. Honestly, he was the...
Shout out Hump.
Yeah, Lil Bro was probably the most athletic for sure. He playing football younger, then with the basketball, ran track, broke my record. I went to a football game in high school when I was in college at the time. I pulled up and one of these college coaches was like, "Yeah, I'm here to recruit your brother." And my little brother wasn't even playing. He didn't even play when he got to high school. So his athleticism from just middle school was like, it went on, and people were already expecting, hot things from him. But the super athletic guy was for sure little bro.
Yeah, Hunt was a freak, man. I always get on him because I told him he should have ran track in college because he was show-stopping. But he's doing his thing on the court, though. He's catching a lot of bodies and doing his thing.
Yeah, he's catching bodies. He's catching bodies.
Doing his thing. But the one thing I would say about the family aspect, especially from the Humphreys, one thing you notice, you guys are doing big things in your career. But the one thing I would say, especially from your parents, I've known them for a long time, they keep all of you guys in church. And I think that's a big factor and foundation for all of you guys. Talk about the importance of that Christian foundation that they've laid for y'all and how that's guided you into your life and in being a professional.
Yeah, I think, man, when you were younger, you were like, you were always in church, And then you get like, a little bit older, and you're like, man, I don't really want to go to church this Sunday. I don't want to go to church this Wednesday. Mm-hmm. And so, you do that. And then as you get older, you're making those decisions on your own, and you realize how that foundation was so crucial. Mm-hmm. The word says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he gets older, he won't depart from it. And nothing in the Bible is not true. And that's something I just know is just for sure true. And it's just, being in that church, you're around, your pastor, you don't really make big decisions without consulting with your pastor, and it teaches you a level of respect. And then it also teaches you that teaches you amount of humbleness. Some people believe in God, some people don't, but if you feel like you're at the top of the food chain, it's really hard to stay humble because you're not below anything. So having God in my life has been crucial. Brothers, sisters, mom and dad, it's for sure one of the best relationships you can have with God. And my parents, there's one thing you didn't play with, and that was the church and God. I never seen my mom take a drink, never seen my dad take a drink, never heard my dad curse, never heard my mom curse. It's just a lot of things that it's one thing to go to church, mm-hmm. but it's another thing to walk a Christian lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the biggest misconception that I think gets kind of messed up in today's, ideal logic and social media rants. It's like organized religion this, organized religion this. It's really not as much organized religion as it is having a Christian lifestyle, having a Christian walk, and having a relationship with God. And so whichever way you need to do to get that, I think is crucial. But, I know there's a lot of different things, but having that relationship is just huge.
That's a word right there. So you transition out of your immediate family, and my Auburn family's gonna get mad at this, but you transition from your immediate family to your Alabama family. You go down to Tuscaloosa, decide to, follow in your father's footsteps and play for the Tide. And you won a national championship while you're there. You're All-Americans while you're there. But one thing I noticed is on that 2016 team, your defense was elite. All of y'all, all starting 11, end up getting drafted. What made that defense so special?
Man, looking back on it, that was a defense.
Y'all had some heat.
A lot of memories when I think about that defense. There was a lot of, I think what I think about the most when I think about that defense, from probably a fan perspective, if you're looking at that team, you probably see who's the leader of that defense. You probably would say it's Ruben or it's this guy, or there's a lot of different pieces. But when I look back on it, it was interesting in the fact that there wasn't really a true, necessarily leader to me. And I think that's something that's very interesting. All the teams I've been on, each team is just so different. Being 7 years in the league, 3 years in college, you either got those vocal leaders, you got teams that don't really have leaders, and sometimes that can mess you up. Then you got the teams that just kind of hold each other accountable, and everyone just knows to do your job. Mm-hmm. And so when I look back on that team, that's how it was. It seemed like everyone just knew, hey, you're supposed to do your job. You don't really need someone to lead you. We all can lead. We all can lead, and we lead ourselves, and that's leadership because we're all leading in that way. And so when I look back on that defense, it's just crazy because it was like when anything needed to get addressed, it got addressed like that. There was never a hesitation. But when it came to doing your job, you just knew the guy next to you was going to do it. And so that's something that, all 11 got drafted in the league. And so that was definitely a special defense.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And you talk about you guys taking the ownership amongst yourselves to make the team great. That starts at the helm. And he arguably, in my opinion, he is the greatest football coach of all time, Nick Saban. Talk about being up under him and his leadership and, that foundation and culture.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. Me and him had a lot of yelling going back and forth. I did some yelling at him. No, I'm just kidding. But he definitely chewed me out a lot. I was a problem child, I would say. Minka was the golden boy.
Yeah.
Do everything right, do this. I did things right, but I had my own way, which led to a lot of yelling. But when the deal with Coach Saban, man, I think what I tell people all the time about him is, and it's really hard to do, almost like very, very hard, is to, no matter what a player does one day, no matter how bad they piss you off, no matter how much they mess up, no matter how much plan they do, every day I never felt like Coach Saban carried what happened yesterday into the next day. And I think that's a good way to go by in life in general, but it's really hard to do as well. Somebody might do you wrong, you forgive them, and you move on. A lot of people, it's hard to really forgive someone and move on, or just somebody's bothering you. The next day, you're still mad about how they spilled a drink on you or something like that. And so with Saban, that's one of the most unique things, I think. He was just like, it's like he was just a light switch. Go in a room, you turn it on. You go out of the room, you turn it off. The next day, you go in a room, turn it on. And he operates literally like a robot. Like, he actually operates like a robot. And when he leaves work, that's it. Like he's a completely different person at work. And then you go to his house for Thanksgiving and he's like smiling and stuff. And you're kind of like,
he's not Coach Saban at the house.
Yeah,
he's Nick.
you're like, he says a joke and you're like,
should I laugh?
And so that was something that, just always stuck with me, how just robotic he was to be able to just operate, do his job. Then when it's time to chill, hey guys, come over to the house for Thanksgiving, and we go have a good time. So, greatest coach of all time speaks for itself, but just how he went about business was one of the biggest things for me.
Yeah, I think every player, athlete, whatever sport you're doing, that player-athlete or player-coach relationship is very important. You kind of flash back on those memories that you have, especially at the levels that you continue to elevate at. What's your best Nick Saban story or favorite Nick Saban story?
My probably favorite Nick Saban story is, I think I was a freshman. Man, a lot of stories happened that weren't dealing with me, but this one was dealing with me. So I don't even remember what we did as a collective. Maybe we just had a bad day. It was me, Tony Brown, and maybe Hootie. I don't know what happened, but I don't curse, so this is not as good.
Yeah.
But he was like, man, Marlon, you got the same disease as these other two guys. I'm like, what's that? He's like, don't give a F disease. You just don't care. I'm like, I'm like, yep. And that was in the meeting. Like, he just would capture, like, some of the stuff he would say would be funny, but it really wasn't funny in the moment because he was chewing you out. But that was probably one of my best ones directly involving me. A lot of the others were just funny stuff. Like, one time I got beat up pretty bad in the Ole Miss game. And he came up to me and was just like, we were in warm-ups. Like, we were like actually practice. So like when he jokes during practice, it's you don't expect it at all. Mm-hmm. So we're warming up and he walked up to me. I'm like, what's up, coach? He's like, how we doing, Marlon? You had a pretty rough one Saturday, huh? I'm like, yeah.
Sure did.
Yeah, so it was there was just a lot of those I can't think of, but man, he's as you start to play for him and you actually, earn the respect for like jokes to be made and stuff like that, he really becomes like what you see on TV is just so different than how he like actually is.
Yeah.
But yeah, all mine were funny stuff from him either clowning on me or chewing me out, but they're all just surprisingly they're all good memories.
Yeah, good memories of Coach Saban. So you transition from the Tide and get drafted in the first round, Baltimore Ravens, thing that very few people get to do. And you get that experience going from Hoover all the way up to the league. What was your welcome to the NFL moment? Because this is something you dream about as a kid, but what was the moment where you're like, man, I'm really here?
Man, I was in we were playing Tennessee, I think my rookie year. And I don't know, it wasn't like my first game. But for some reason, I just sat on the bench. I don't know if it's because so much of my family came to the game because it was the closest game we played was Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And it was weird. I just sat on the bench pregame, and I ended up sitting there for like way longer than what I probably should have, like probably like just 2 minutes straight. And I was just like, dang, I'm really in the NFL. And it was a surreal moment. And then another one was when I was a rookie. We were playing the Steelers in Heinz Field, which is now something else called, but Steeler Stadium. And I went up, ran, hit Le'Veon, boom, hit him on the sideline. He went out of bounds. I kind of thought I had made the tackle, but I really had got ran over. And so he ended up stepping out of bounds, though. And I popped up, but I realized I couldn't, like, feel my arm. So I got a stinger. And then I kind of got ran over. I was, not thinking of it. And then I looked down, and his towel was stuck in my fingers. Like, I couldn't feel my hand. And then I got mad at myself and tried to throw the towel. So that was my, like, these boys are big, hit these guys low. But then the other one was like a surreal, I'm in the NFL type moment.
Have you gone against Derrick Henry yet?
Yes.
What? He's like a train. He's like 6'4" for real.
Yeah.
270, fast.
Yeah.
How you tackling that?
I've been fortunate every time I play Derrick that, my guys up front do a okay enough job. Mm-hmm. Now, he's broke a lot on us, but for some reason he is not. See, the good thing is I'm on the edge.
Yeah.
It's some safeties that got to catch him coming straight downhill. I've had a couple angles on him.
You get a good pursuit, yeah.
Yeah, I've had some good angles to where I haven't really he just came and I just had to. So I've been fortunate I've not been on the stiff arm, highlight reel, so I'm going to knock on wood.
Mm-hmm. We got you.
To make sure. So I got fortunate in that aspect, but he's definitely, the hardest part about him is, one game I think we stopped him like 3 quarters straight. But it's like he's
you're gonna keep going.
He gets stronger at the end of the game, which is very, very rare. I haven't really played many running backs that are like that literally are way better in the fourth quarter than they are in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Which just literally sucks. So, but once he gets going, once he literally is going with a head of steam, he's truly just unstoppable.
So you said you've gone 7 years. You're approaching year 8 in the league, or year 7 in the league?
Oh, I'm what am I? Year 7, going on year 7.
Big vet. We're coming up as a big vet already in the league. And you guys on the Ravens side, y'all have acquired a lot of talent coming in this offseason. And then you making sure you secure Lamar as your quarterback with a new deal. What are the expectations for the team? Because y'all are really stacked and you have a lot of talent on paper. But what's it looking like, and what is your expectation for the season?
Man, I feel good about this year. I think, whether you feel pressure, whether it's media, whether it's whatever, for Lamar, having a contract, there's nothing better than that security. Mm-hmm. In any form of job in this era, anyone that is like on an expiring contract that does not have another contract, there is some sort of something on your mind. So I think that being clear will be huge for him. Lamar's like a guy that really is very rare. He truly wasn't really bothering him that he didn't have a contract, but still, it's on the back of your mind. So that being clear, us not being in the media every 2 seconds about was Lamar's today's a good day, a scripted tweet about something dealing with his contract. Like everything that's always on the cafeteria. So I'm excited about that not being drama. Securing him, getting Odell, drafting Zay, got some young guys in the draft, signing a couple corners. I'm really excited about the year. I think out of all my years with the Ravens, this is on paper the best as far as player-wise, team we've had. Rough for sure on offense. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's defense. I would say we might have had 1 or 2 better years probably on paper. But I'm really excited about who we got. just in the crew we got around us. So I think big things, obviously we're in a tough division with the Bengals, so winning the division is huge. If we can win the division, I think we'll be able to do a lot. So that's for sure will be our biggest focus, winning the division, and then just getting into postseason play is the biggest thing.
That's what's up, and we'll be keeping up with y'all. So the name of my show is Stuck in My Thoughts, and your Twitter is a definition of stuck in your thoughts. So what is something, it could be one thing or it could be multiple things, but what is something that you constantly get stuck in your thoughts about?
Honestly, I tweet what comes to mind. So I don't know if I get too stuck in the thoughts. Something I get stuck in the thoughts. Honestly, something that gets stuck in the thoughts is, I don't know if it's because it's an interesting guy. Elon Musk makes me, I get stuck into what is this guy on exactly? What is he thinking about sometimes? Like, it seems like an interesting cat. His tweets are interesting, but I don't know, man. Me personally, I don't really have anything where I'm just stuck. Usually when I'm stuck, I'm like, tweet, put the phone down, and then figure it out.
Yeah.
Later. So that's
like when you didn't know the Titanic was real.
Yeah,
that was crazy,
dude. All right.
That was insane.
So that came about. I was on Instagram and Kate Winslet's dress was being auctioned or something, which. I'm still kind of confused she's an actress.
Yeah.
So I was confused with how that's being auctioned. I guess what she wore in the movie, I guess. And then that made me think like, wait, that's being auctioned, like that's just a movie. Then I was like, wait, is this real? So then I had to Google that, and then I'm like, actually, no, I tweeted that first, actually.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I put my phone away, and then people started contacting me like personally to my phone, and I'm like, crap, wait, what I tweet exactly? So I kind of forgot, and then I realized I was getting like fired up, like people were really at my head, and I was like, it was a movie. Like I guess I missed the based on the true story part.
Yeah.
And then my coach, the Ravens, came up to me, and as I studied it more, I realized a lot of like really important people died on that Titanic, which was kind of crazy. The history of it was.
Did they have a based on a true story on the things?
I don't know.
I think you should have known. I think that's what they expected.
Honestly, I don't know if they did or didn't, but I got fired up for that.
Yeah.
I was getting cooked.
It's okay. So as a pro athlete and I guess you could say a celebrity, how is it like that feeling? Like you talked about Elon Musk. Like, what are the chances you could actually get into contact with Elon Musk?
See, I'm like a A, B, C, D, E, F. I'm like an EF list celebrity.
Okay.
So someone told me this is a good scale for celebrity stardom. How many airports in the United States of America would you get recognized in? And as I started thinking about that, I was like, Baltimore Airport, Alabama Airport, and maybe DC Airport, maybe. That's about it. I equate that to not an A-list celebrity, but a B, C, D, E, F list celebrity. So for me to get in touch with Elon Musk, I probably could be hard.
Yeah, you got to go to more airports.
I got to go to more airports. I do know a connect that could get me there, but it would risk that person's job. She works for Twitter. And I hear he's firing people left and right. So
we not going to get you fired, shawty. I promise. I promise I won't get you fired. Marlo, I don't know.
I'm not.
We'll see.
I love his cars, though. Tesla, I'm a fan of Tesla.
Yeah, they hard. Hey,
big fan of
Tesla,
Tesla.
NIL, holla at your boy. I can't afford y'all right now. So that brings me to my next question. I'm curious about this. Who is the most famous person in your phone? He got some A-listers in there.
Is Odell's famous? Who's the more famous? Odell.
Odell has 17.
Okay, who's more famous, Quavo or Odell?
That's a hard question. That's going to be
See,
on a
this is
real.
the weird thing. I didn't really realize how famous Odell is.
Odell's really famous. He could not play it down anymore, still going to be famous.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like he's famous for not even football. He's famous. Well, he is famous for football, but he's famous, just famous.
I got a question. Which one of them would answer a FaceTime? Quavo or Odell? Which one would be more likely to answer a FaceTime?
Oh, Odell be doing too much famous people stuff, but Quavo will be doing crap too, though. What is today?
Thursday. What time is it?
I don't know. They might both actually decline me, honestly. They probably hit decline.
We try to call one?
Let's see. They're not even going to be able to hear me with this horrible Wi-Fi.
If Odell or Quavo answers this phone, this podcast needs to go through the roof. That's all I got to say.
Is that the most famous person I got, though?
Hey, man, that's them two A-listers right there. You talking about you F, them up there. While Marlon's thinking, y'all make sure y'all go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to this episode. We are about to approach the end of season 2. We're doing great. We're going to hit season 3 when we get back to Auburn. And yeah, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. Shout out to Mason in the background doing all the camera work. He's really been putting on. And the podcast going up. Like I said, Stuck in My Thoughts always. Place you want to be for a one-of-a-kind POV.
Oh, Quavo has 23.6 million followers on the gram. Is Instagram considered fame?
Instagram is the hardest platform to get followers on.
Really?
Yes.
For real?
Mm-hmm.
Dang, I can't call Odell, actually. I haven't been ducking him. But I haven't been.
You want to settle it on the Stuck in My Thoughts podcast? Get us on Bleacher Report.
I was supposed to pull up to Miami to train, and I just couldn't do it. It's too tied up.
What do you think, Drake? I think that would be great.
I think you called Odell and you were supposed to be in Miami.
Oh, yeah.
Why you think?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not finna disturb Quavo. Okay, I can't do it.
Okay, Marlo couldn't
Only
call.
because I was not ducking him, though. I just literally could not. I've been kind of jammed the last 3 weeks, honestly.
You've been doing too much travel.
I've been doing too much traveling.
You think he'd be mad?
No, he was like, oh, why you not in Miami? I'm like, I'm doing you told his podcast over there? I'm like, yeah. And then there's smoke.
We don't want smoke. I did want OBJ on the FaceTime, but we won't rock with the next one. Question, though, and this is I was talking to a friend yesterday about this. As an athlete, you have those guys where you're like, man, I always remember him because he was, like, insane. Who's, like, the best athlete you've ever seen or gone against? They don't even have to be, like, football players, but who's, like, the athlete you're like, that dude is a freak? Or that girl is a freak. That woman is a freak. Or that woman was great at her sport. We don't need to get canceled. We don't need to get canceled. We just started the show.
All right, this is a weird one. This is very, okay, not freak. For some reason, a track girl I coached came to mind, which is weird. All right, for some reason, I can't think of any dudes.
It's okay. More power to the women.
All right. I was a coach at Hoover for 4 years. Coached my little bro and did 4 years of that. And Britley was LSU full scholarship, which you could probably ask any
It's hard to do that.
girl running track. That's like you get a full ride at LSU, you're her. Like, period.
Yeah.
You're her. This girl named Shakaya Plummer, as a freshman, was running like 56. She was just like about to be way better than Britley, like, which is crazy to say. And we're talking about someone that's the whole every state record, blah, 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 blah.
SEC champ.
And I just remember coaching her in I think the first year And I was like, this girl's a freshman right now. She's doing all this. And that was like just to know how good my sister was and seeing a girl that was like not far away from doing what she had already done. It honestly blew my mind. And she is the one person that comes to mind out of. So.
Where's she at now?
She's at UCF, probably on her probably just finished her second year now. She was a freshman. What was that? She was a freshman. You were a senior in high school. Mm-hmm. So what?
Yeah, she got to be approaching junior year or something.
Yeah, approaching junior year.
Something like that. Yeah.
And then obviously I was never around Sydney McLaughlin, but she's just Sydney.
When I was at the trials, I competed like in the earlier days, so I was done later, and that's when she broke the world record for the first time. That was honestly insane.
Yeah, it's kind of getting
ridiculous.
Sadly, it's almost getting a little boring now because she's just so.
She switched events though.
She did switch events. She did switch events, and she's kind of still going crazy there.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Sydney. That'd be a crazy dream guest right there, out there. I'd go to LA or something. But speaking on the track, and for most people that are watching this, Marlon was insane at track. So growing up, obviously you know the Humphreys, but dude, you were like world class coming out. Did you ever think about making that move like DK did and trying to compete in any meets?
I wanted to. My problem was I started getting hurt a lot in track. Just because, like, I was, obviously when you get older, some things certain people have to change certain things whether it's your diet, hydration. I just was never on it enough. So I ran like 1 year in college, basically mainly just the indoor season because I got hurt in the indoor season, got hurt the outdoor season. And the bad thing was I was a hurdler. So it wasn't just get on the track run, it wasn't just get on the track jump, it was keeping all your hips and all that. And so my balance just started to show as I got older. Mm-hmm. And so it started interfering with football, and then that's kind of why. But I love track. If track paid like football, they both got paid the same, I probably would have done track.
Yeah.
But obviously, they do not pay the same, obviously.
Chump change.
And that was a problem for me.
Yeah.
So, shout out to my track peoples.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We love the track world.
I will say I still love watching the meets. I'm getting at all my people that I know are getting older, so we're like at the fizzling out. Some are still killing it. Devin Allen, Freddie Crittenden, hurdler as well, Daniel Robertson. But I love watching track. It's definitely one of my favorite sports to watch.
Yeah, for sure. I was just so curious. I was like, knowing you and seeing you grow, I was like, man, that dude was a freak at hurdles. And I was wondering if you'd make that switch. But yeah, track got to start paying out some more money to the athletes. But that's another topic for another day. But Marlon, I appreciate you being on the show, man, taking the time. You got to head out to Baltimore. We wish you the best of luck this season, and appreciate you. And y'all go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch y'all for the next episode. We out. That's a wrap. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Track do got to start paying some more money.